Good morning and welcome back to Cooking with Carol Diane. This morning, I had a comment last night on my chocolate pudding with my dinner. Somebody wanted that recipe really bad. So today I'm going to make a Hershey's chocolate pie, homemade, from scratch. And I will be using the same method of cooking my chocolate pudding for just eating it like you do a chocolate pudding to having it for a chocolate pie. Okay, so, and another comment, it cracks me up on these little comments. One of my better friends asked me how long I've had my pastry cloth. A lot of years. She wanted to know what this was up here. She thought it was mold. I said, no, it's blueberry from making blueberry pies and tarts and different things. So I went ahead and because I have used mine over and over again, and they'll last for years, they really will. Mine has a little bit of a cut on it for me making cinnamon rolls several times. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to get rid of my rolling pin or the cover for my rolling pin, but I am going to start with a fresh new pastry cloth, and I ordered these. There's two different sizes here, and it comes with a little scooper here for different things of getting off pastry and different things off of your cloth. I have 100 of these nice ones, so don't need that. Let's check out the little one, see how big it is, because I don't really know. Like I said, I just kind of ordered them online and wanted a new cloth. These are very nice of the material. It's heavier. This one's a little small for my little project today, so don't be thinking I'll use that this morning. Let's check out the big one here. I think this one might be more what I'm after. Yep, this one will do a little bit better. So just like a good cast iron skillet of being seasoned, you want to kind of season and get your new pastry cloth ready. So of course you're going to add flour to it and get it all worked in nice. If there's anything that needs more working in, might have to take just a little bit more flour here, because I want my board to be, or my cloth to be nice and seasoned so that I can start in, and I just kind of work it into the fabric here, getting it in all the little grooves of the fabric. That's pretty good. It's not going to be quite like my other one until I use it over and over again, which is okay. It's all right. Like anything else, you gotta use it to have it work. Okay, so this morning I'm going to put my pie in just a kind of a shallow pie pan this morning. I'm gonna use this one. Not gonna make the pastry. What for when you have these already made, the pie crust. And take it out. And like I said, I like to kind of roll mine just a little bit to get that first little edge started. And you might need a little bit more flour to do that. I always do anyway. I've watched other people do this, and you know, it works real well for them. But for me, I have a real hard time with that little lip that's on there, getting it to come out where I want it. Now, it's a good, perfect shape, it really is, but I want to make sure it fits in my pie pan here nicely and get kind of the edges where they're not all wrinkled up again. The cloth's working just fine. I just ordered it on Amazon. Anybody can get them. If you have a nice kitchen shop that you like to order your things from or go to, you know, and see it in person, that's great. My kitchen shop where I live down here went out of business, and so we don't have that anymore. Okay, that's a good size. It really is. So my pan, I always kind of like to spray with just a little bit of cooking spray, and then I will take a paper towel because I don't want a whole lot in there. So I'll just kind of move it around, just kind of on the edges. This one has such a nice scalloped edge to it. I'm just gonna kind of move that around a little bit this morning. And then I like to take my pie pastry and I will fold it in half and get some of that extra off of there. And then I put it halfway in the pie plate and the other half now over. Just take your fingers and push it all down in here really nice. Really, really nice. Now, you can cut off the excess or you can roll it over just a little bit, which I think that's what I am going to do this morning, because I'm going to show you how to do the little scalloped edge. So we're going to just barely tuck it under. Won't matter at all. Got up this morning and it was so windy and cold outside. Another storm front, I guess, is coming through, and I could really tell. Dogs didn't even want to get up out of their bed this morning. Okay, and then how I learned to do the little scalloped edges is that you take both fingers like this and then this finger and you're just going to kind of come along and pinch the edges all the way around your pie so that it pretty much looks like the edge of this scalloped nice edge that's already on this pie pan. It's a ceramic pie pan. Just love these crusts that are already done. I don't have to worry about a thing. Not that I haven't made pie crusts before, I certainly have, but why when you can have something so easy ready to make? Now this Hershey pie today is going to be fairly easy. You know, don't panic on it because anybody can make this. Okay, then I like to take just a fork. If you have nice pastry utensils and different gadgets that you use in your kitchen for all this, great. But you know, I'm just going back to the basics, and so I take my fork and I want to put some holes in it so that it doesn't all puff up and have mounds on it when I've cooked it. So we're just going to kind of go along the side here, and it works well with a fork because the fork has 4 little prongs, you see. So it's making 4 holes as I go through the whole pie where it's not going to bubble up on me. I have preheated my oven to 450 degrees. So you have to cook this at a higher temperature. We're going to cook it for a good 10-15 minutes before we ever put our pie filling in. Then I come along and I do the bottom down here, all the way around, so that it's way, I don't know if you can see that, way down in there. Just all the way around your pie. And then I just kind of come all the way down the middle, making holes all the way. So that's the pie with all the holes, okay? Now we're gonna take this, like I said, in a pretty hot oven. So 450 degrees, 10-15 minutes, depending on your oven, of what you have, you know, in your kitchen. And just kind of keep an eye on it. And when it starts to get, you know, a little brown on the edges, I also have, wait just a second here, while I grab those out of my cupboard of mini tricks. I have these little guys that you can set on top if you're worried about the top, the crust getting done before the middle. In fact, I think I'll go ahead and leave those on there. And I've had those things for many, many years. So we're going to stick this in the oven now. And I'm going to set my timer for, I'm going to start it with just 10 minutes and see how it does on 10 minutes. The box that you get these in, which is I think it's Betty Crocker box of the already made pie pastries, calls for 10 to 15 minutes, but like I said, you'll just kind of have to watch it and see. So that's my first step of what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit here and have my cup of tea this morning because I'm not quite awake. Up with the wind last night, and I've got a neighbor that likes to shoot off firecrackers late at night, and so that kind of jarred me up out of bed. So I'm just kind of barely getting going this morning on this video to show you the pie, but I will stop and come back because I've got my pan already on the stove, or the stovetop over here, ready to make my filling that I'll be doing next. So I'll see you in just a few minutes. Sometimes my remote works, and sometimes it doesn't. Welcome back. Now I'm at the second part of making this Hershey nice chocolate homemade pie. And now we need the filling to put into our pie. Our pie is done out of the oven. This is what it looks like now. It's all baked nice. So the first thing that you're going to need are the dry ingredients. So you're going to need 3/4 of a cup of sugar, and I've got my heat on about medium high. So I'm going to just pour my sugar in there, and we've got 5 tablespoons of, yes, the Hershey's cocoa, and that's this one that I use, just Hershey's cocoa, that we're going to put in here. Make sure you get all of that in there. Then I have 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. Go ahead and put it into your pan. A little pinch, remember my little measuring cups or spoons that I showed you a while back? Well, just a little pinch of salt that's gonna go in there. Now, I like to kind of just mix it all together to get it kind of incorporated at the beginning. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take 2 cups of milk, but you're only I only start with about half of it to begin with. And the thing that you want to do right off the bat is you whisk it. Whisk, whisk, whisk. You're going to be bringing this to a boil. Just about the time you think, well, I got that pretty well, then you'll be putting in the rest of your milk. Just whisk, whisk, whisk. And go ahead and put in the rest of it. Whisk this until it comes to a boil. Don't worry about the little air bubbles that are showing on it. All that'll go down. You just keep whisking until it gets to this boil stage. This is the same chocolate pudding that I had last night with my meatloaf dinner that was so good. And I said there was a gal that wanted to know how to make it. Now you can stop after this and make your pudding just for you to eat, or what I'm doing today is gonna go ahead and make a pie. Gonna go ahead and make a pie. There's going to be 3 areas to this pie. So first I've shown you how to take a little crust, bake it in your oven it took me about 12 minutes on my pie crust at 350, where it was actually, where I wanted it. And then this is the second part about making the filling. And then the third part is I'm going to put a meringue on this pie. Don't panic, they're real easy to make. Don't panic. If you're in doubt about a meringue, yes, you can put whipped cream, but I just thought I'd make a meringue today. It's getting nice and hot, but I still want to keep stirring, keep whisking, because I do not want it to scorch on the bottom. So the faster you whisk at it, the better. You've got to get it to the boil stage before we're going to add the flavoring, which is a teaspoon of vanilla, and before we can add egg yolks. And we're taking 3 egg yolks, which are right here that I separated, and I just take a fork and I just kind of whisk them a little bit to get them all nice. Okay, so I said you don't want it to scorch on the bottom, so you just want to kind of keep an eye on it and see when it's going to come to the boil. Not much longer. Okay, starting to get a little thick on me now, so I'm going to go ahead and put in my vanilla extract, any kind that you want. And now I'm going to whisk really fast and pour in the egg yolks. Real fast. Now it's boiling. It's looking like this, which is good. And then a tablespoon of butter. You want to keep whisking this and doing this until your butter, you can't see it anymore. And it's going to fool you because it'll crop up here in a little bit. This is going to show its little face here in a second again, but it looks pretty good. Now it's starting to get real thick on me, that's what I want. I'm going to turn my heat down or off. And put all this nice pie filling now into my pie crust. Doesn't that look good? Homemade chocolate pie. It's gonna be pretty easy. Don't worry about that on there. That's very good. That's my tester for the day. Kind of smooth it around. Now, like I said, if you were not going to make the meringue, which I am, you would probably stop here, let it cool on your counter, and then place it in your refrigerator for several hours, before you're ready to serve dinner or lunch or whatever you're having it for. And you put whipped cream all over it. But today, I'm going to be using the meringue. So that's next. So hang on for that part, please. Welcome back to the last part of making our Hershey's chocolate pie. Now comes the meringue. First and foremost, start with a nice clean mixing bowl and your beater. You don't want anything on here, any little crumb, anything in there to mess this up. So start with all that clean first of all. Your eggs should be room temperature. I'm doing 4 eggs, so I want the egg whites. Get this out here. So we're just going to separate and do 4 egg whites. You can do 3, you can do 5, but I'm just going to do this one and hope that it, I'm sure it'll be plenty for the pie. I really am. They make little egg separators, have for years. So if you're in doubt or haven't, separated eggs before, go ahead and use that. Otherwise, practice, practice, practice. And separate some egg whites. Okay, there's my egg whites. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this in the mixer at a very high speed. and we're going to mix them all up until they form little peaks. So I'll pour the egg whites in my bowl. I'm going to add also just a little pinch, not much at all, of salt in there. And I'm going to add my little tiny pinch, you don't have to do it, of the cream of tartar. Okay, so we're going to start this pie and get it rolling. Get this going on our pie. Takes a few minutes, not very long. The chocolate flavoring the scent after I made it has filled my whole kitchen today. It smells really good. This will be a good little dessert. You'll need a quarter of a cup of sugar, which I have right here. And then put in. After it gets pretty well with the heat going, and it's getting there, doesn't take very long. You're going to stick it in the oven and brown it, the top of it. I have my oven on broil. Make sure not maybe it went out because it's new oven and I'm not figuring certain things out on it still to this day. Okay, so what I like to do is stop the mixer just for a minute to see if there are soft peaks, and they are. So now I'm going to add my sugar slowly. Incorporated in there real nice. It's thickening up a little bit more, the stuff that I want. Stop it and check it one more time here. Looks like that. Just a few more minutes. Again, it's going to look like this now. They are peaks. That's what we want. I'm going to put all of this on this nice chocolate pie. And because egg whites are eggs, you do need to cook this. Just a few minutes of that you're going to be putting it on the broiler, broiling it to get a nice brown on here. And I like to come all the way to the edges with the meringue. It's just kind of coating all the way to the edge of the pie crust. Okay. Leave you a little cute design up there. You can form little peaks with this, you really can. Okay, now we're going to pop it in the oven and keep an eye on it. Very close eye on it, because you don't want to burn it. I'll get my hot pads. You're way over here. Set stuff down, don't remember where I put things. Okay, so again, it's going to be on broil. It's not going to take very long. We're going to have a delicious pie. Trying to get a little bit of laundry done today on this windy day outside. Had one of my little puppy dogs. You could see it in my camera when I was making my pie filling that I like their little bed in the kitchen with me. They like it in here with me whenever I'm doing anything, and you could see both of them that they were in their little bed all snuggled together, that's how they like to sleep. But one of them got sick last night, so I've had to wash everything all over again today, and so it's a full day of laundry today. Washing is washing, and it takes a little while. My mother always used to say washing, and she came from Oklahoma, Tulsa. She was born in Tulsa, and even my grandmother was Oklahoma, and everything was washing. And I said to her one day, I said, Mom, I said, why do you say washing? It's washing. It's W-A-S-H, not W-O, washing. But that's how she used to pronounce it. It was really kind of funny at the time. It really was. Okay, I can see in my oven that the little peaks that I had on the top are already browning. So it's not going to take much. We just want all the edges and, yes, the middle to get brown. And it's doing it pretty fast. I said you really need to stand by your oven, whether you have one, you know, that you pull out the door this way underneath your stove, however your kitchen is with your appliances. Mine happens to be the wall oven, and which I kind of like, that I can stand here and actually see this. And I can open the oven, and I can actually rotate this if I want to, if I carefully do it, so that I make sure everything, see, it's really going fast here. And that's what I want. I want it real fast. Fast cooking, fast getting it done. Kind of move it around just a little bit so that all areas are coated. And they are. Gonna go ahead and cancel that now with my oven. Take the pie out. And that's my meringue. I haven't done this in a few years, so I'm kind of pleased with it. Looks real nice, don't you think? I'm having fun making these little videos. I hope you are too. And today was the Hershey's chocolate pie. Very easy to make. Don't be afraid to cook in your kitchen. That's what it's all about. Trial and error, and make some fun things. So this is what I'm having tonight. I can tell you that right now. So I hope you've enjoyed my little video, and I'll catch you next time from my kitchen to yours with Cooking with Carol Diane. Have a wonderful afternoon. Bye-bye now.